Well, welcome to another episode of The Billy Ho Show. In the early 1960s I worked for the Whakatane board mills, and the four-wheel drive of the time was Land Rover. I don't think Toyota or other four-wheel drives turned up until the mid to late 70s. But anyway, this show's all about four-wheel driving, so let's go and see where we end up. We're up in the Southern Alps and we're at the back of Tekapo. So what we're going to do in this program is go up that valley up there all the way up to a place called the Macaulay Hut, and we'll all move in there. I think there's 14 beds up there, enough for everybody that's on this trip, and we'll camp up there tonight. So it's about 12k I think from this point up to the hut, but it takes about 3, maybe nearly 4 hours to go that far. So it's fine till you get to about halfway, and then you've got to make your own track further up. There are two valleys. One goes up the Macaulay and the other one goes up the Godley, and we have to cross the Macaulay River in order to get up to where we're going. And normally this river can be ferocious. There's a few times we've come here and that river is just absolutely impassable. So to see it today, practically just a few little streams here and there, is absolutely wonderful. So there's no chance of us having to sort of turn around because it's too flooded on our way back, and the weather forecast ahead is nice and fine. So we're crossing the Macaulay River over to the other side, and when we get there we'll hang a right and follow the road up towards the Macaulay Hut. The Macaulay River flows down this valley, and looking at the state of the crossing, I don't think river crossings are going to be too much of a hassle. Off to the left of this track is a station called Lilybank, and when we come back tomorrow we'll head through the Lilybank station to get to the Godley Valley, but that's tomorrow. Coming with us is my old Mahindra pickup, which has proven itself time and time again. In the Nissan is Bob and Lee. Bob is the trek mechanic. A mechanic on these treks is absolutely essential. The rule is, if you break down and Bob can't get you going again, then we'll get you to the nearest town, and from there you look after yourself. Fortunately, this has only ever happened twice in the 22 years we've been doing this. Capital Tyres in Hamilton has supplied the GWM's tyres, so we're fully equipped. They say tyres are everything when you're four-wheel driving, so these are mud terrain tyres, and they are the key. After all, they're what connect you to the road. They say once worn down to 25%, they start to lose it a bit. The Canon has just about every digital assistance device fitted, from diff locks through to hill assist when descending a hill. In the old days we used to have to get out and manually lock in the front hubs, but these days that's all part of the deal, no need to get out at all. It's got plenty of safety devices as well. It beeps at you for a variety of reasons, telling you there's a car close by. It's got great cameras telling you what's behind and front and all around, and it won't move until the doors are properly closed and the driver's seatbelt is done up. You just dial up low four-wheel drive mode on a switch at the centre panel beside you and you're all set to go. This truck's been lifted 2 inches in the front and fitted with a snorkel and a nudge bar in the front for a bit of protection. So, she's fully equipped. Some of the trucks that are coming with us are old school, and they don't care whether your door's closed or your seatbelt's on, and in some circumstances on four-wheel drive tracks that can be a good thing. Crossing rivers has a little niggly-naggly concern that goes with it about the computer in your truck getting wet. It used to be that we just worried about the air intake getting a gulp of water, but modern vehicles are built for safety these days, and that's important. Crossing over stones can also be a concern, like sliding down a stony slope for instance. There are some big stones in the mix and these could damage your diff. A smaller stone can get lodged in the brake and make a screeching sound, or get lodged in a tyre beading, which basically means it goes flat. And so you've got to be aware of the size of the stones that you're travelling over, and when you're in a river, getting a stone in a bead can also slow you down and become a bit of a problem. We've had many a flat tyre caused by a stone in the bead in our travels over the last 22 years. We're heading up into the Southern Alps, and we're going up the Macaulay Valley, and this is the valley, and there's a river in there somewhere, and that's you go over that hill to Mesopotamia, and you go up over this hill to the Godly Valley. So this is the Macaulay Valley, and it's certainly up here in the middle of nowhere, and if you get stuck, it's a long way back to Tekapo to get some help. But you wouldn't want to be standing here when these rocks were being flung about. But once we go around the next corner, it's coming up, a bit of a bluff there, we're into no man's land, and this track will start disappearing. So as the river flows come down the valley, so the tracks sort of get taken out. But each year some people go up and make a new track. So sometimes it's difficult to see the track, so you've really got to make your own. So that's a lot of fun. And it's 4:45. It's about 5k up to the hut, and that's another couple of hours away. So our current speed is 5 miles an hour, 5k an hour. So here we're going to attack the water. So let's just talk about water for a minute. The water's going through the brake drums, and through the wheels, and sort of going with the currents running like it is, and the water's just going through the. How much damage is that water capable of?
Well, they say that if it's underwater, well, deep in water, if you push the clutch in, it'll make the clutch slip.
Wow.
And so you've got to be careful not to use the clutch as you're going through. Decide what gear you're going in and carry on. You don't change gear when you're in there.
So select your gear, go through the water, and
absolutely,
yeah,
stay there.
Yeah. And it's all about the cooling and sucking stuff in, and that's why your maintenance on four-wheel drives is a lot higher when you do this sort of work.
Yeah, I see you're travelling, getting close to the hut now, and what you're looking for, I can just see on the slide on the right-hand side there, left-hand side there, there's a pile of rocks. And there you go, there's a pile of rocks on the right, I think, that you've headed for. There they are, a little stack of rocks. Somebody stuck up and say, here's the road,
yes.
Or here's the road when we came. But that's you're not going to get stuck on that rocky terrain.
No.
So what we're looking here for, guys, is those little pile of rocks, and there's quite a number of them as we came up. Somebody sort of set them in place and think, well, when we come back here, we know where we've been, or we know where we've got the head for. But you get those big floods, and it just changes the whole terrain.
Yeah, well, they all disappear again.
They all get bowled over with the water.
Yeah. They're signposts for us.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
With no wording.
No wording, no, just a little pile of rocks. And going up that, it's pretty steep. And those big tyres are all sort of just rip and drag themselves up there.
Yes, it's a lot steeper and deeper than it looks.
We made it. Here we are. On the top of the Southern Alps, So it's quite comfortable in this hut. I mean, you've got to say it's got everything you need. There's a radio there and all the rest of it. And everybody's cooked their own meals, and from steak to baked beans to boiled eggs. Yeah.
It's actually surprising what people bring along.
Yeah. But when you step out, you've got that panoramic view of the Southern Alps, and as you were saying, Bob, it doesn't look all that far to the edge of the mountain here, but one of the fellows who was staying with us said it was a 2-hour walk.
Yeah.
Unbelievable.
Then he left his keys and it go back again.
Yeah. And so we're all sort of singing party songs and entertaining each other until it's time to wake up. At the top of the Macaulay, there's this hut. And it was built in Helen Clark's era as Prime Minister by Doc, and it's a huge compliment to those guys who built it. Absolute brick toilet, And what's in there is a radio. If something happens, you can actually call for help. There's a whole area for cooking. There's a big bedroom. I think it's got 14 beds in there. And there's a big wood pile out the back if you want to sort of light the fire stove thing. So you can have a hot water container or a jug on top of the fire range to have a cup of tea anytime you like, after it's got hot, of course. And it's very, very comfortable. So if you're coming up this way, up the Macaulay River, you've got this to look forward to. So you can stay, as I said, you can stay overnight, enjoy yourself in this wonderful, magnificent panorama of mountains here. In the winter it would look absolutely spectacular, all covered in snow, but it'd be very, very cold. So anyway, the Macaulay Hut. In the Macaulay Hut is the probably the last photograph taken of Sir Edmond Hillary. And there used to be a bath just over there. Somebody's either stole it or it's floated away downstream in one of the floods they had here. But anyway, Sir Ed's in there and in the bath, and it's an interesting shot of the late Sir Edmond Hillary. We're heading back now, and it always seems to me when you're heading back it's shorter, or it doesn't take as long, or maybe that's just an optical illusion or something, or a hearing illusion. But it always just seems to be quicker going back than when you came. Mind you, we've made our own track and we know where we're going heading back, so I guess that makes a difference.
Yes, it is an optical illusion really, because there wouldn't be much in it, because it still takes the same amount of time going back, because it's coming the same distance, you know. But it depends on if you run into other vehicles as well.
Yeah. But those hills look absolutely spectacular with no snow on them. I mean, we had some people one year who climbed up over that hill and down the other side, a man and his son. Do you remember that?
Absolutely.
And they arrived at the hut, and the next day they were climbing up over the other side towards Mesopotamia. But looking back at that, where we've just come from, and we're sort of following the riverbed, which is a good thing to do, I guess. It's all taking you back to where you want to go. Yeah.
It's a good shot for the vehicle, that's for sure.
You just got to be careful, because when the lights go out there, it just goes instant dark. There's no.
Yes, I don't think if you want to be crawling around up there in the dark, you'll need to be getting to where you're going. But anyway, let's have a chat about the scenery. Well, we've left the hut and we've come down the long trek back to the Macaulay River. And we're pretty much in the middle of this valley that goes all the way back up to the Macaulay Hut and the mountains beyond. And it just looks absolutely stunning. I mean, I can sit and look at that forever. So what do you think of it so far, Jim?
Well, I'm glad I came.
Excellent.
Great adventure.
What do you think of that?
Beautiful.
I could look at that all day myself.
Yeah. Yeah. Oh, well.
And it's just sitting there, it doesn't give a rat's ass who looks at it.
No.
It's just there day in, day out. Some people see it, some people don't. It's amazing. Yeah, good on you, mate. Thanks very much. Coming down some of these rocky banks on the way back, you can just see I went over a great big rock there, but a lot of guys have a tow bar on the back of their trucks, and it's that tow bar, depending on how low it is, and sort of go crash when your bum sort of gets near the top on the way down. So just have a look at the Mahindra now as it goes down. It's got a tow bar stuck out the back, and see that? It just took away all those bits of rock there. Big crashy noise, and when you're driving you think, oh God, what was that? And what it was just the tow bar sort of connecting with the ground and moving a few of those rocks. Even Bob bounced off a few rocks just then, and here comes the Jeep. I'm not sure if he's got a tow bar or not. Let's have a look. Nope, he's down safe and sound, even though he has got a tow bar. It's actually quite high up. And so we're moving right along. We're getting near the end now, and another big pile of rocks, but we missed that. And on our way, we're coming to this, what we call the swimming pool, which is just a big, long waterway. The water's come in from a flooding river at some stage, and it hasn't been able to drain away. So we travel through that. It's not all that deep, but it's still a waterway, and it's still fun, and that's what four-wheel drive treks are all about, having a lot of fun. Would you like to come and catch a pig with me tomorrow?
Yeah, that sounds great.
Excellent. Christmas isn't all that far away, and so if you're looking for a present for the truck driver or somebody interested in transport in your life, then my Talking Trucks book might be just the thing. So if you'd like a copy, just email me, billhohepper@extra.co.nz, and I'll take your details and I'll get a copy in the post to you. Now this book covers trucks basically heading back from about 1972 to the time they started making vehicles. So a good historical book, and tells you all about the New Zealand transport industry up until about 1972. So for a Christmas present, perfect. Email me, billhohepper@extra.co.nz. We've come from Omarama, which is that way. We've had a lovely cup of coffee. And then just out of Marama, heading south, there's a road called Broken Hut Road. And you take that road, it comes all the way to this dock area here. And there's a track through that gate that goes up, very steep. Then across a bit of a plateau, and then it goes down, very, very steep and zigzaggy as well. And there's about 12 river crossings that way. And the other way to go on the other side of the mountain is if we go that way. I'll just wander over here. So if we head down that track, that's the way we're going. That also goes zigzag all the way up and then over a plateau and then comes down, and there's a dock hut on the other side of it where we're going to have lunch. And then after that we cross about 27 river crossings and we come out on the road that eventually takes us to the hotel at St Bathans. So in for a pretty cruisy sort of a day, I suppose. I don't know what the state of the river crossings are at the moment, or how much there's no gravel on parts of the hill going up, so we might slip and slide a wee bit. Those hills up ahead look very ominous with that cloud right down the hills, and the hills go further up than that, so we might be climbing around those hills in the mist. You've got to travel along these flats for about 4k, and it's rutted and there's not a great deal of metal, so you probably slip and slide a wee bit if it was raining, but other than that it's a nice little interesting colourful drive to the track that we're about to take up. Well, we've come about 4k from where we turned off to come in here, and it's pretty flat going. And now we're going to go up that hill, and it climbs up probably 1200 metres straight up to the top of that mountain over there. And then we'll climb over that mountain and then we go down the other side, and I think we cross a river at the bottom and we make our way to a dock hut, and that's where we'll have lunch. So it's pretty narrow, pretty steep, so we'll just take it easy and we'll go up there. As you can see, the road is pretty narrow. There's a little bit of metal on it, which means you're not slipping and sliding. And the mist means that the road is damp, and but as you can see, it's very, very narrow. And a bit of a drop off onto the right hand side, but there are a little few ruts up there that we had to negotiate. But we've reached the top, Broken Hill Road 10k, Top Hut 2k, so it's 2k So it's 2k down this hill to the dock up at the bottom. So we've enjoyed what we can see at the top, and now it's time to wend our way 2k down to the hut below. So I'm going to explain how you attack steep hills. I've got this truck in manual second gear. So coming down a steep hill like this, you can actually drive it down rather than sit on the brake. You're not wearing the brakes out. And and if you do have an auto, sometimes coming down these hills, it pays to sort of have your foot on the brake and the accelerator, so which sort of controls your wheels a bit better. But just being in manual second gear seems to be doing us all right. I don't need to put it on the brake. And it says on the dashboard M2, four-wheel drive. We're in low four-wheel drive. Got a hairpin bend coming up just over there, so sometimes if you get into a really sharp hairpin bend going down a steep hill, you've sort of got to do a three-way go at it. So you drive up into where they bulldoze all the extra dirt and back up, and so you're pointing down the hill and off you go again. But if you get something like that, I'll just show you how to do that. Which is a bit gnarly, with all this rock bouncing around. The only good thing about it, I suppose, is the slope isn't so far if you sort of get caught out and roll down the hill, which you certainly don't want to do. We've got a bit of a hairpin bend right in front of us here, so we should be able to make it around that okay. Yep. Got a good lock this old Great Wall, which is always handy. There's the hut, and there's a river we have to cross to get to the hut, and the track carries on off to the left, and there's about 27 rivers to cross, similar to this one, as we travel. But when you're in the river, you don't know how big the rocks are. You can see one sticking out of the water there. I think we're going to run over it. Yes, we do. Bang. And so you can get jostled about as you cross these little rivers. Plenty of rocks and what have you. But you really got to just take it easy and enjoy the ride, I suppose. But anyway, we've reached the hut, and everybody's going to enjoy a spot of lunch. Well, we're all safely ensconced in this dock hut, and going to enjoy a nice cup of tea and a sandwich for lunch. Beautiful. Should you decide to do this Broken Hut Road track, we'd recommend that you don't do it by yourself. We'd recommend at least 2 mid-sized four-wheel drives, and if it's been raining, perhaps 3. Reason? If you get stuck, you've got a mate to pull you out. If there's a group of you, like we are, then it's a lot more fun as you travel. The road from where we had lunch is continuously wending its way slowly downhill. It travels with the stream, which is the reason why we're in and out of the stream so many times. And if the stream is up, it can be dangerous. So if you can, check the state of the stream before you go. So if it's been raining for 3 or 4 days prior to you going across this road, then it probably will be just that fraction dangerous, with the river being slightly higher. But when you get over there, it's easy enough to check, and of course it's easy enough just to turn around and go back, no harm done. So there you go, that's the Broken Hut Road. Now if you've got a four-wheel drive, what we recommend you have in it is a tow strap, 2 shackles, and you buy these from a four-wheel drive shop like Iron Man, someplace like that. And so you get a tow strap and 2 shackles so you can connect yourself to the truck that's pulling you out. We also recommend you can take a torch. If the night time comes, you need to sort of see where you're going, or if something's happened to the truck, you need to be able to see around the truck, so a torch is very handy. Mind you, if you're doing the four-wheel driving in the summer in the South Island, it stays light up until about 10 o'clock, so you've got plenty of time really to sort yourself out and get out of wherever you are. There's no phone service in this area, so what we recommend and what we always try and do is take a satellite phone. You can rent a satellite phone. I think it's about $30 for a week or something like that. You don't have to use it because it's so much per call, but it does give you peace of mind, and that something happens and you need to get hold of somebody to come and help you or get you out, or somebody's crook in some way. Having a satellite phone means you can get hold of whoever and they can send help. As I said, you don't have to use it because it's actually quite expensive, but it is your little backup. We also take a little chili bin full of food. We take a cooker, a knife, fork, spoon, cups and plates and things like that. And it's a lot of fun because everybody's bought a bit of food and you can plonk it all on the table and have a bit of a feast. Yeah, I really enjoy the four-wheel drive cook-ups as we go along. Because there's so many huts, you can actually stay in dock huts as you travel. We normally take tents and we set up camp here and there as we travel. And every second day, because we've got ladies, we try and stay in a motel. So it's camping a night, in a motel a night, and so on and so on. Coming up now is the next hut along this line, which is 9k further along from the one where we had lunch, and it's taken us about an hour, I suppose, to hour and a bit to go 7k. But we'll stop here and have afternoon tea. What a great idea! But if you're coming up from the other end, there's plenty of a good accommodation in this hut. We've stayed here a few times and really enjoyed it. So I think there's eight beds in this hut and 8 in the other one. Somewhere to eat and somewhere to sleep, and there's a good dunny out the back. All you need for a good four-wheel drive trek. Boundary Creek Hut. There it is. And there's the dunny, and it's got a nice little thing to stop the smell. Little windows there. So from start to finish with this track, we come in, it was about 10 o'clock when we arrived, we had lunch, and now we've come out this far. The end of the road isn't all that far away, a couple of more rivers to cross, and we'll be out at the end. So it's a nice track, a challenging track. It's got lovely views, and if you like getting in the water, well, it's certainly got plenty of that. So we do this every year in the South Island, mainly. And if you'd like to join us, then my email is billhoheffer@extra.co.nz. And so if you send me an email, I'll send you the details on how you can come along with us and enjoy driving New Zealand outback. So the end of this road is just up the road now. We haven't got far to go. Everybody's thoroughly enjoyed it, and so have I. But the rocky terrain is amazing, and the views are amazing, and everything about this track is just a lovely four-wheel drive. Can't get into too much trouble sort of a track.